Let's move on to our NFL burning questions. And this is basically we each picked one team and we were tasked with figuring out what's the one question this team needs to answer decisively in the draft. I'm going to go last. Evan, we're going to start with you.
Why will Cleveland not pick a quarterback first? They're not even really entertaining the subject right now. They are really, really sold on Travis Hunter. And the thing is, Deshaun Watson and Joe Flacco, they are both really temporary solutions to a program that needs somebody to lead this franchise. They haven't had anybody good since Baker Mayfield. And even Baker Mayfield, they traded away for, I would say, basically nothing at that point. They could easily go for Shadur Sanders. If the Titans don't take Cam Ward, they could easily get Cam Ward. They're in such a good spot to be able to get a real franchise quarterback to sell this team back to the fans, to rally the team around him, and to attract other players that would want to play with these types of quarterbacks. Nobody wants to play with any of the quarterbacks they have right now. I mean, they're just okay for where they are. I don't understand why they think that Travis Hunter is going to be the guy to bring them back to anywhere close to a playoff team. But I just don't understand why they're not going to draft a quarterback.
I like Shador Sanders. It might
I
be
think
as
they
simple as
would
that.
too, but they're not talking about it.
And you got to look at Deshaun Watson. He may never wear a Browns uniform again. So he re-ruptured his Achilles and just had surgery. He's done.
Right.
He's done for the year.
Yeah.
And
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 they barely signed Joe Flacco back.
and they owe 200 million in guaranteed money to Watson. But
Yeah.
the Browns recently announced that buried in his contract was a $60 million insurance policy that will offset some of that cost. So they're still going to owe him well over $100 million in guaranteed money, whether he suits up again. But Watson wasn't even good when he played on the field.
Right.
He really struggled, and and they did have some talent around him. He just struggled. So I don't know what they're doing. Conventional wisdom says they should take a quarterback. I just don't think they like Shador Sanders. So that's just my
I
take
don't
on
think
them.
they like anybody for no reason at all. Yeah, I think it's a not a great decision by the front house, or and it's bad.
The
Well,
worst part
that's
of this is I would really hate to see Travis Hunter go there and then his career just be abysmal like the rest of
Yeah.
the
yeah,
entire team.
yeah. All right, Cam, what's your team and what's their burning question?
We kind of alluded to it a minute ago. The Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence is in his what, sixth year now? At what point is the writing on the wall that he is not the second coming of Jesus? Uh, I know when he came in, he was the most hyped prospect since Andrew Luck.
Mhm.
And everyone was super, super excited to see how he would excel or succeed in the NFL. And outside of the one game that he came back and beat the
The
Chargers a few
Chargers.
years
Yeah.
ago in the playoffs, he really has never come into his own and been the quarterback that everyone thought that he would be. The Fighting Greyhound, sadly, just hasn't quite been there. I'm wondering if this could be the year, and Dylan Gabriel may be an ideal candidate, being in like a third or fourth round, to sit on that bench and apply a little bit of pressure. They have a
Mm.
new coach, they have a team that probably wants to start trying to move forward. And I'm wondering if this is the time that they actually start looking to do it.
I mean, they made
Can,
the playoffs 2 years ago.
They've
yeah.
made the
Can I just
playoffs, but they
say?
haven't had any success. And even
Can I
when
just
they
say?
have,
With the
go ahead.
exception of last year, Trevor Lawrence has had amazing years. Last year was really his only blemish. I mean, you had 4,000 years in 2023, or 4,000 yards in 2023, 4,000 yards in 2022, almost 3,700 yards in 2021. I mean, it's fairly good
I
record.
don't have the numbers in front of me, but how many yards did Baker Mayfield have when he was playing for the Browns? Just
I
because a player does
Oh,
one
I
thing,
agree that the Browns should not have traded Baker Mayfield either.
it doesn't necessarily translate to wins or that it works for that specific program. They've made the playoffs once or twice in his tenure there at the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think it's once.
Yeah.
That's what matters. I don't care if he has 4,000 yards. If he's not getting them W's, you're not paying him for yards. Otherwise, you can go pay Aaron Rodgers. You're paying for wins.
I think there's still a lot of belief in him, in that organization. I don't think they're giving up on him just yet.
Oh,
So,
man, I disagree.
I mean, this is supposed to be burning questions, and you just got burned by Evan's stats. So,
Disagree with Evan's stats.
you can't. All right, guys, for mine, I'm going to be a homer. I got the Carolina Panthers. They're committed to, well, first, my question is, do they go with the obvious need on defense, or do they get lured in by the shiny tight end? And what I mean by that is Panthers are committed to Bryce Young for better or worse. He showed a lot of promise in the second half of the season, but he needs more weapons. Enter Tyler Warren. It would be an excellent selection at 8 and would make a lot of sense and would help the offense. But I don't know how much you guys watched of the Panthers last year, but historically, they had one of the worst defense in NFL history. In fact, they gave up the most points ever in a season in NFL history. You need to take a defensive guy with your number 8 pick. Travis Hunter will be gone. Abdul Carter will be gone. Mason Graham will likely be gone. That leaves Jalen Walker, the outside linebacker out of Georgia. It just seems like such a logical pick. And the Panthers play a 3-4 defense, and they don't even have outside linebackers to play that scheme. Jadeveon Clowney is an old man. He's a 12-year veteran, and he played that starting role on the edge last season. He's just not going to cut it long term. I think Walker fills an immediate need for them, but my question is, do they get sucked in by the shiny tight end waiting there with the long curly hair that just is saying, take me, take me, take me? Or do smoother heads prevail and they go defense? I think they should go defense.
I think history has shown that they will get sucked in, but that does not mean they should.
You know, Joey, the other linebacker that really sticks out that would be an excellent pickup for them is Jahad Campbell.
Yeah.
I agree with you, and I think that it would be a really compelling tight end pick. But Jahad Campbell at linebacker for a team that really needs it, I think would be a solid selection as well.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Well, that was our episode. And speaking of things that are compelling, we hope you found this show compelling. Cam, you found the show compelling. What are you doing?
You're going to like our episode. You're going to comment on what you disagree with, because surely you don't agree with everything. And then you're going to subscribe so that you can continue to hear the great decisions that we make on this channel. Thank you.